Hey friends, welcome to the first yoga practice that I'm going to offer this month of April. It's a beautiful month to awaken, to start to plant some seeds, both symbolically and maybe in your garden. I know for me, I threw a few in the ground. My father always told me that peas have to go in March 17th on St. Patrick's Day. It didn't happen on St. Patrick's Day, but I got the peas in the ground. Also planted some kale and some onions. So I don't know if you're a gardener. I used to be a gardener, and then I got really busy and I wasn't a gardener. And then last year I had this beautiful opportunity to return to gardening. So it's beautiful and I love it. So that's the real garden. And then the garden within is, what do I want to grow this year? What do I want to bloom within myself? So we're going to talk a lot about that this month. We're going to start our yoga practice this is going to be just primarily focused on shoulders and opening up the heart and the upper back and the front of our chest. So I really want to focus there. And so I'm going to turn my camera off and just be guided by my voice. I think that is an empowering way to learn about your body and to be one. Remember, definition of yoga is union. It's about you and you. And then what happens is when you find that union with yourself, you begin to see the oneness in others and your relationships are enhanced. It's just a beautiful thing. So go ahead, settle into your practice, unroll your mat, make sure you're in a quiet-ish space, but don't expect perfection because the sounds that you hear around you are life happening. And that's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to turn my camera off. Go ahead and find yourself on all fours and then sink your hips back to your heels, which we call child's pose here. So make your way to that tabletop and then let your hips find your heels. And we get to decide right away. Do I like my knees wide and my toes touching so that my belly can sink in? Or do I like to be tight with my knees touching, my belly on top of my thighs? It's totally up to you. It's your preference. There's no right or wrong way. But just begin to come to the presence of your breath, to the presence of the moment. Start to draw in just a slightly deeper breath in. And a slightly deeper breath out. Just feel your body's response to the breath. One of my favorite springtime poems or quotes. If you just take a little bit of this, it says, "And the day came when the risk to remain tied in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Every single seed has to crack open before it can grow." The day came when the risk to remain tied in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Beautiful. Start to rise up to all fours. Just a tabletop here. Going to move through this practice slow and methodical. Then tension around the shoulders and the heart. Start to lift your nose and lift your tailbone. Come into cow pose. The belly kind of sags down towards the mat. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Maybe the nose lifts a little bit more. Then we push against the floor, hollow out the belly. Begin to separate the shoulder blades as you round the spine and tailbone tucks underneath you. So we've created this big C curve at the top, like a cat stretching in the morning, that very first stretch a cat does. And then reverse it again. The belly falls, the nose rises, the tailbone rises. And then you round again on your exhale and draw in. And then you inhale, float your nose up. Accentuate that tailbone, and then round the spine, tuck the tail, drop the chin, and just take a few rounds like this beginning of opening the back, allowing the chest to shine. Beautiful. We're going to come back to tabletop. You'll lean just slightly into the left palm where it's spread wide, fingers are create like a big starfish on your mat. And then just draw your right elbow up to the sky. Just start with the elbow and feel the heart rotate. Beautiful. Return the right hand to the mat. Spread the fingers. Shift the weight to the right hand slightly. Left elbow reaches up. Turn your heart to the left. Feel that? Return the left hand to the mat. Now take your right elbow up to the sky. Start to turn your heart just a little bit more. Get this little upper body twist. And now reach your right arm up to the sky. Fingers go up. It's a beautiful opening. Take a breath in. And slowly return the right hand back to the mat, back to tabletop. Go slow here. Be deliberate. Left elbow, reach it up. Turn your heart to the left. And now fingertips to the ceiling. Reach, expand. Feel it. Take a breath. Lower the right or the left hand back to the mat. Both hands down. Stay here for a breath cycle. We're going to add on. Right elbow starts to lift. Right fingertips reach. The right arm is extended. Take a breath in. And now take your right hand and weave it underneath your left arm, palm up. Shimmy it all the way over to the left edge of your mat, even beyond the mat. Now lower your right shoulder and your right cheekbone to the mat. It's called threaded needle. It's a beautiful stretch for the upper back, the shoulder. And see if you can reach the right palm just an inch more towards the left. Maybe close your eyes. And now your left hand is on the mat. You can reach your left hand forward, just spider crawl it forward and get a side body stretch to the left side. That could feel amazing. You can also bring your left arm around to your low back of your hand on your low back, and feel that. It's a little bit deeper, a little more opening. Either one is fine though. Take just a breath or two here. Now let's start to slip the right arm through. Bring the left around if it's on your back and come back to all fours. Breathe, reset, find groundedness, spread your fingers. Let's take that to the other side. Left elbow first. Left fingertips all the way up. Beautiful. Now weave the left hand palm to the sky underneath that right hole. Shimmy down. Find yourself on your left shoulder and your left cheekbone and breathe. Maybe inch the left hand just a little bit further to the right. Maybe the right fingertips spider crawl forward and you get a side body stretch, or maybe you take the right hand around onto the low back and letting the right shoulder open. Either one is fine. And begin the process slowly of unwinding this threaded needle, slipping the left through, bringing the right hand back to the mat. Nice, you're in tabletop. All is well. Perfect. Now go ahead and lay on the mat, belly down. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders, forehead to the mat. Legs are long. You might even shimmy them longer than you think they can be. Top of the foot is pressing into the mat, and sort of sink your shins down into the mat. Just going to come to a very minimal baby cobra. Take a breath in and let your heart rise just a little bit. Elbows stay back by your waist. And then exhale, forehead comes back down. We're going to go really slow here. And when you inhale again, lift your nose, maybe a half inch, an inch more. Exhale, lower. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift your heart, maybe press into the floor a little bit more and rise up just a little bit. No pressure in the back. Exhale, forehead comes down. Do that 2 more times. The measure of your own breath, the sensation that you feel. Don't go beyond sensation. Keep it there. No pain. 1 more. Beautiful. Bring your forehead back to the mat. Now walk your hands off of the mat. Find the surface that doesn't have your mat. So the palms are down, either on a wood floor, a tile floor, carpeting, grass, wherever you're at. Maybe you're outside on your deck if you live in a warm climate. Keep the hips anchored down, tops of the feet anchored down, shins down. And now let's inhale and lift the heart. Elbows are bent like crickets. And now turn and look over your right shoulder. Feel that. Inhale back to center. Maybe rise up just a little bit. Exhale, look over your left. Let's do that again, both sides. Inhale back to center. Exhale, turn to the right. Feel it. Inhale back to center. Turn left. Come back to center. Forehead comes down, hands walk in underneath shoulders again. Now slide your arms forward and come to forearms on the mat. And the elbows are right underneath the shoulders, palms face down. Start to lift your chest. So we're just resting on our forearms. This is called Sphinx pose. And now keep your hips anchored down. But I want you to imagine that the belly is being dragged forward on your mat as you arch back just a little bit. Now tuck your chin. So we have this big opening through the chest, rooting down into the elbows and the forearms. Sphinx pose. Beautiful. Stay and breathe. Nice. Go ahead and make your way back to child's pose. Bring the hands in, sink the hips back, bend the knees. And from this child's pose now, come back to tabletop, spread the palms wide, tuck your toes, press into the L's of your hands. Full breath in here. When you exhale, the hips are going to go up and back in that upside down V shape called downward facing dog. Now see what happens here as you push into the left hand a little bit more and then the right. Kind of move those shoulders around. Your eyes are at your toes, your heart's going towards your thighs, and you're just feeling here. Just feeling that sensation of the shoulders moving a little bit. Beautiful. And now find stillness in your downward facing dog. Walk your hands backwards to your feet. So just bring them on back. You'll be in a forward fold. Go ahead and slide your hands to your shins. Come up halfway and really extend the crown forward. Get a stretch for the hamstrings. And then you'll fold down over bent-ish legs. Go ahead and rebuild your spine all the way up to stand. First time we've been upright. When you get to the very top, lower your shoulders. Let's take a few shoulder rolls here. They're going to inhale up towards your ears, exhale back and down. Do that again. Close your eyes up by the ears, roll back and down. Do 3 more, just like that. Back and down, accentuate it, exaggerate it. Pull the shoulders down. 1 more. So nice. Keeping the shoulders away from the ears, drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And now see if your left hand can just drag down the left side just a little bit more. Do you feel that on the left side? Bring your head back to neutral. Drop your left ear towards your left shoulder and see if you can reach the right fingertips down an inch or so. Come back to center with the head and lower your chin to your chest and just feel that. Bring your nose back to neutral. Slide your arms all the way up into the extended mountain pose. Grab your left wrist and pull it over your head. Really pull here. Feel that opening through the left side body. Get a nice long stretch there. You'll go back up to center and opposite clasp. Grab your right wrist. Pull it up and over. Really feel that. Come back up to center, separate your hands. Open your arms wide and swan dive over your straightish legs. Slide your hands halfway up, crown of the head shines forward. Exhale, fold. Come back up to stand, rebuild the spine, slow as you go. Let the shoulders creep up by the ears at the very top and then exhale, tuck and roll them back down. Very deliberate here. Arms are going to go high to the sky. This time we're going to bend both elbows and cactus our arms, lift our heart. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Maybe the nose goes towards the ceiling. Maybe the chin follows. We keep the neck long, but the throat is open. Now inhale, arms go back up to center, higher than they were. Eyes are forward. Open the arms, swan dive forward. Come up halfway and fold again. Rebuild the spine, go slow here, letting the shoulders climb to the ears at the top, and when you exhale, they fall down your back. Arms go up. Beautiful, let's change it up again. Open twist to the right. Reach the right arm behind you, left arm in front of you. Maybe the eyes follow all the way back to the thumb. Inhale, back to center. Reach higher than you were. Open twist left. Left arm behind you, right arm in front. Maybe the eyes go to the left thumb. Inhale, back to center, higher than you were. Open arms, swan dive forward. Take a halfway lift and a fold. We're going to do that again. Come up with me, slow, inhaling. Get to the top, roll your shoulders back and down, breathe out. Inhale, arms go high. Grab your left wrist, exhale, pull up and over. Inhale back to center, grab your right wrist, pull up and over as you exhale, feel it. Inhale back to center, separate your hands, open your arms and swan dive forward as you breathe out. Slide up halfway, take a breath in, fold deep, 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 breathe out. Rebuild the spine here, come up slow, let the shoulders climb to the ears, and when you exhale, tuck and roll back. Beautiful. Inhale, arms go high. Bend your elbows, lift your heart, lift your nose, squeeze your shoulder blades. Inhale back to center, reach higher than you were. Open arms, swan dive forward. Slide your hands to your shins, halfway lift. And now fold really deep. Last time through, rebuild the spine, slow as you can. When you get to the top, shoulders tuck and roll back, breathe out. Inhale, arms circle up. Open twist to the right, reach further than you did, look to the back. Inhale back to center. Open twist to the left. Inhale back to center. Open the arms and swan dive forward. Stay in the forward fold. Let your arms just dangle like spaghetti noodles. Maybe circle them. Reverse the circles. Let the tension out of the shoulders by tucking the chin. Start to bend the knees and come down back to all fours. So I'm going to walk you through a position that we don't come to very often, but it's a beautiful stretch for the hips. And if it doesn't work for you or you're not sure where I'm going, you can sit in a cross-legged position, but let's see if we can do this together. All right, knees are under the hips. Hands are under the shoulders. Bring your right knee closer towards the center of the mat. And bring your left knee behind it, wrap it around it, and sit back on to the mat. So if you look down at your legs, the knees are attempting to be stacked with the shins coming out horizontally. The right knee's on the bottom, the right knee's on top. Yeah, right knee's on top as you brought the left one around and you sit back. Now this can be an intense pose for the hips. So if it's too much, just sit in a cross-legged position because we're really focusing on the shoulders and the heart today. We're not going to get too crazy with the hips, but it's nice. It's a beautiful, beautiful stretch for the outer thigh and the glutes. Now take your arms up to the sky. Bend your right elbow and pat yourself on the back. Feel that stretch through the right tricep. Tee out your left arm out to the left. Flip the palm so that the palm is forward. The palm is to the back. So we flipped it. Palm is forward, and now we flip the palm. Palm is facing behind you. Bend your left elbow and bring your hand to your low back. You can stay just like this. So the legs are crossed and stacked or easy seat. Right hand is down the middle back, elbow is high. Your left hand, the back of your hand is resting against the low back. You can stay here, or you can creep your fingers so that each hand touches and you can kind of hook your fingers. This is called a beautiful cow face pose. And I don't know why it's called that, but where our fingers are linked. If they're not linked, it's no big deal. You can grab your shirt or you can just keep your left hand on your low back with the palm out. Feel this stretch through the right arm, right tricep. Just a couple more breaths here. Beautiful. Now unwind the arms. Bring your hands in front of your knees and come back to all fours. You might take a cat and cow here and just sort of feel some fluid movement again. And then we're going to come back to those crazy legs. So the left knee goes to the center of the mat, right knee goes up and behind it, and then you sit back onto the mat. Kind of shimmy your heels out of the way. As your knees are working on being stacked, it's a beautiful stretch, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Come to an easy seat. Both arms are going to go high. And now pat yourself on the back with your left hand. Feel this stretch in your left tricep. Tee out your right hand. Palm is facing forward, thumb is up. Now flip that. Bring your thumb down. Bend your right elbow and place your hand on the back, really low, and just feel that. And that's an opening for both shoulders. Now, if you can, try to bring the fingertips to curl and touch. This is not an easy one, so be tender with yourself. In time, you might be able to get there, but it's not a big deal if you don't. And then without leaning forward too much, try to push your heart slightly forward and get a real stretch there through that left tricep and the right shoulder. Beautiful. Unslip, unwind, and return to all fours. Nice. Go ahead and sit back to child's pose, hips to heels. Keeping your hips attached to your heels, bring your torso up, sitting on your heels. This is a great posture for knees, brings a lot of blood flow into the knee joint. And now just rise up onto your knees. Beautiful. So shins are down, tops of the feet are down. Bring your hands behind you, like you're slipping them down your back pocket. Elbows draw towards each other. Notice what just happened to your heart. Shoulder blades squeeze together like a zipper in the back that allows the heart to push slightly forward. Now keep your chin just where it's at. We're not gonna come into anything wild here, but I want you to start to push your hips forward, keeping the hips over the knees. And now start to arch the spine back a little bit. This is a very safe and very modified version of camel. And maybe as you push the hips forward, keeping them over the knees, you can lean back a little bit more, and maybe the chin starts to rise up without compressing the back of the neck. Stay for one more breath. Beautiful. Now straighten your spine with ease and grace. Now sit back onto your heels and close your eyes. Camel is a very powerful posture when we come into emotions and energy. Sometimes we can even feel a little sick to our stomach. If we come into a big back bend, it's not unusual. So just take a moment to go inward. If something rose up in you emotionally, physically, just let it be. We're going to do camel one more time. Rise up onto your knees, slip your hands down your back pockets, squeeze the elbows towards each other. Now push the hips forward. Begin to lengthen that front seam of the body without crushing the low back. Lean back slightly, lift your chin, maybe an inch. Keep pushing the hips forward. This doesn't have to be one of those acrobatic movements to get the benefit. It's a slight back bend and opening of the heart. You have one more breath here. Beautiful. Now rise up with ease and grace and sit back onto your heels. With your knees touching, now come into child's pose like a seed, a tiny little seed. Remember, the seed must crack before it can open. This posture of the child represents this tiny little being ready to crack open and grow and to take risks, become this beautiful blossom. Last month, remember, we had optimism and hope as our focus as we cleared out some of the stuff that gets in the way. Those doubts creep in, the fear, the scarcity, the uncertainty. And now we come into this idea of awakening, bursting open. Beautiful. Slither your body forward onto your belly again. Come to cactus arms so the elbows are bent and the forehead is on the mat. This is a big one, so stay with me, but it's really amazing. Elbows are bent, palms are down. You're in a cactus position with your arms. Start to straighten your right arm. Just slide it. It's not going to be on the mat. And now we're going to roll onto our right hip, onto the side. Just roll onto your side. It's a huge stretch for the front of the shoulder. You might take your left knee and lift it, bend it, and place the left foot behind the straight right leg. So we really open here. Close your eyes. Feel that stretch along the front of the armpit, into the pec muscle, along the chest. Beautiful. Start to slowly transition back to your belly. Cactus your arms, forehead down. Left arm extends out, palm down. It's long. Start to roll onto the left hip. Let the right knee rise, bend, and plant the right foot behind the left leg. Breathe. Slowly make your way back to your belly. Forehead down. We're just going to flip over onto our back. Beautiful. Hug your knees in tight. No balance postures, no standing postures, just opening. Tee out your arms, palms face up. Reach them as far as you can. Take a breath in and allow your knees to drop over to the left. And then bring your nose over towards your right shoulder. Just breathe. Do you feel that? Bring the knees back up to center. Let them fall to the right. Let your nose go to the left. Bring your knees back up to center. Plant your feet on the mat. Soles of your feet come to touch, knees open. Right hand finds your belly, left hand finds your heart, eyes closed. We feel the rhythm of our aliveness. We breathe. And we remember the beautiful intention that we set in January. And like we're holding a packet of seeds with the name of that intention on the cover of the seeds. Each one of those seeds in that packet represents growth towards your vision. What will you grow? What will you put in the ground to support that intention for your year? You can stay here and contemplate an idea, a thought, a seed. You might allow your mind to go into the place of your garden where you see yourself putting those seeds into the ground, knowing that with the right conditions, the right nurturing, the seed will open and growth will come. Or you may just settle in to the quiet space of your mind. Stay as long as you feel comfortable. And when you reawaken your body, do it slowly and gently. I look forward to sharing more throughout the month. Have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Be well.